What is today? Winnie the Pooh has been a childhood favorite for generations. Originally created in 1926, his stories have sparked wholesome, honey-loving childhood dreams for nearly a century. Although there are many other characters within the Pooh universe, Kanga, Rabbit, Roo, and Tigger, just to name a few, there is no doubt that the bear wearing a red shirt with his fist shoved into a jar of honey is most certainly a fan favorite. National Winnie the Pooh Day on January 18th is your time to return to the 100 Acre Wood. Winnie the Pooh, also called Pooh Bear, and Pooh is a fictional anthropomorphic teddy bear. Anthropomorphic meaning having human characteristics. Pooh was created by English author A. Milne and English illustrator E. H. Shepard. Christopher Robin's teddy bear made his character debut under the name Edward in A. Milne's poem Teddy Bear in the edition of the February 13th, 1924 issue of Punch, which was a British weekly magazine of humor and satire. E. H. Shepard had also included a similar bear in a cartoon published the previous week, and the same poem was published in Milne's book of children's verse, When We Were Very Young, November 6th of 1924. Winnie the Pooh first appeared by name on December 24th of 1925 in A Christmas Story commissioned and published by the London newspaper Evening News. It was illustrated by J. H. Dodd. The first collection of stories about the character was the book Winnie the Pooh in 1926, and this was followed by The House at Pooh Corner, 1928. Milne also included a poem about the bear in the children's verse book When We Were Very Young, already mentioned, that was 1924, and many more in Now We Are Six, that was 1927. All 4 volumes were illustrated by E. H. Shepard. The Pooh stories have been translated into many languages, including Alexander Leonard's Latin translation, Winnie the Pooh, which was first published in 1958 and in 1960 became the only Latin book ever to have been featured on the New York Times bestseller list. A. Milne named the character Winnie the Pooh after a teddy bear owned by his son, Christopher Robin Milne, on whom the character Christopher Robin was based. Shepard in turn based his illustrations of Pooh on his own son's teddy bear named Growler instead of Christopher Robin's bear. The rest of Christopher Milne's toys, Piglet, Eeyore, Kanga, Roo, and Tigger, were incorporated into Milne's stories. 2 more characters, Owl and Rabbit, were created by Milne's imagination, while Gopher was added to the Disney version. Christopher Robin's toy bear is on display at the main branch of the New York Public Library in New York City.
I invite children of all ages, from the youngest to the oldest, to come in and view our newly restored Winnie the Pooh and Friends. Winnie has been gone for over a year to get restored, a little medical checkup or some time at the spa. Winnie will be 95 on August 21st, so please come in and fill out a birthday card and enjoy the toys, read some stories, and share some rhymes.
Christopher Robin Milne had named his toy bear after Winnie, a Canadian black bear he often saw at London Zoo, and Pooh, a friend's pet swan they had encountered while on holiday. The bear cub was purchased from a hunter for $20 Canadian by Canadian Lieutenant Harry Colborne in White River, Ontario, while en route to England during the First World War. Colborne, a veterinary officer with the Fort Garry Horse Cavalry Regiment, named the bear Winnie after his adopted hometown in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Winnie was secretively brought to England with her owner and gained unofficial recognition as the Fort Garry Horse Regiment mascot. Colborne left Winnie at the London Zoo while he and his unit were in France. After the war, she was officially donated to the zoo as she had become a much-loved attraction there. Pooh the Swan appears as a character in its own right in When We Were Very Young. The Winnie the Pooh stories are set in Ashton Forest, East Sussex, England. The forest is an area of tranquil open heathland on the highest sandy ridges of the high-wheeled area of outstanding beauty, situated 30 miles southeast of London. A. Milne died at his home in Hartfield, Sussex on January 31st of 1956, nearly 2 weeks after his 74th birthday. After a memorial service in London, his ashes were scattered in a crematorium's memorial garden in Brighton. The rights to A. Milne's Pooh books were left to 4 beneficiaries: his family, the Royal Literary Fund, Westminster School, and the Garrick Club. After Milne's death in 1956, his widow sold her rights to the Pooh's characters to Stephen Schlesinger, whose widow sold the rights after Schlesinger's death to the Walt Disney Company, which has made many Pooh cartoon movies, a Disney Channel television show, as well as Pooh-related merchandise. In 1961, Walt Disney Productions licensed certain films and other rights of Milne's Winnie the Pooh stories from the estate of A. Milne, and the licensing agent Stephen Schlesinger incorporated and adopted the Pooh stories, using the unhyphened name Winnie the Pooh into a series of features that would eventually become one of its most successful franchises. In popular film adaptations, Pooh has been voiced by actors Sterling Holloway, Hal Smith, and Jim Cummings in English, and Yevgeny Leonov in Russian. Sorry if I missed that there. Pooh videos, soft toys, and other merchandise generate substantial annual revenues for Disney. The size of Pooh stuffed toys ranges from beanie and miniature to human-sized. In addition to the stylized Disney Pooh, Disney markets classic Pooh merchandise, which more closely resembles E.H. Shepard's illustrations. Of course, when you have a franchise as big as Pooh, you know lawsuits are going to be part of the history. It's a damn shame that greed always finds its way into something wholesome. And with that said, in 1991, Stephen Schlesinger Incorporated filed a lawsuit against Disney, which alleged that Disney had breached their 1983 agreement by again failing to accurately report revenue from Winnie the Pooh sales. Under this agreement, Disney was to retain approximately 98% of gross worldwide revenue, while the remaining 2% was to be paid to Schlesinger. In addition, the suit alleged that Disney had failed to pay the required royalties on all commercial exploitation of the products. Why do we have to say exploitation? Though the Disney Corporation was sanctioned by a judge for destroying 40 boxes of evidentiary documents, the suit was later terminated by another judge when it was discovered that Schlesinger's investigator had rummaged through Disney's garbage to retrieve the discarded evidence. Schlesinger appealed the termination, and on September 26 of 2007, the 3-judge panel upheld the lawsuit dismissal. People are ridiculous. After the Copyright Term Extension Act of 1998, Claire Milne, Christopher Robin Milne's daughter, attempted to terminate any future U.S. copyrights for Stephen Schlesinger Incorporated. After a series of legal hearings, Judge Florence Marie Cooper of the U.S. District Court in California found in favor of Stephen Schlesinger Incorporated, as did the United States Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit. On June 26, 2006, the U.S. Supreme Court refused to hear the case, sustaining the ruling and ensuring the defeat of the suit. On February 19, 2007, Disney lost a court case in Los Angeles, which ruled their misguided claims to dispute the licensing agreements with Schlesinger Incorporated was unjustified, but a federal ruling on September 28, 2009, again from Judge Florence Marie Cooper, determined that the Schlesinger family had granted all trademarks and copyrights to Disney. Although Disney must pay royalties for all future use of the characters, both parties have expressed satisfaction with the outcome. On January 1st of 2022, numerous works entered the public domain, including A. Milne's original Winnie the Pooh stories. Although Disney's version of Pooh is protected by copyright, the company no longer exclusively owns the rights to Winnie the Pooh. The silly old bear is even being reimagined as a killer in an upcoming horror film, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. I'm sure that's what A. Milne and E.H. Shepard had in mind when they created the characters. Please don't watch this movie. It looks like a piece of crap anyways. What is today? To celebrate National Winnie the Pooh Day on this 18th of January, share the magic of this wonderful character by introducing him to a child in your life. Seeing the magic of Winnie through the eyes of children is quite an experience.